Hi, everybody. I have not done one of these readings in a while. I've been doing the monthly Astro Tarot forecast. Um, I think we just didn't have a lot of different energy for a while other than those. And yeah, a lot has been happening. Um, we've just ended Mercury retrograde, which was kind of typical, a little draining, a little glitchy, and we're still in that shadow period. It is now June 7th. Mercury's been direct for a few days. We're in that shadow period for about 2 weeks. Saturn went retrograde June 4th, and I wanted to wait until we were actually feeling that energy a little bit. I didn't want to do it in advance. I wanted to actually really get a sense of it. We're going to be in retrograde until October 23rd. Saturn stays in a sign for quite some time. It's going to be in Aquarius. It is in Aquarius. It's going to affect the fixed signs. Trying to think of what those are now. It's escaping me. Aquarius and Scorpio and two others. You'll have to look that up. Okay. If I get a little tongue-tied, that's Mercury. Part of it's me, but it's also Mercury. Okay. So we have been purging collectively for about 10 months now, realistically, going through various phases, purging different aspects of our life, purging issues around relationships, clearing that, allowing other issues to surface, other habits and patterns to surface. And we think we've done that. And then there's another thing and another area of our lives, another area of relationships, or another area of our finances. So it just keeps uncovering stuff over and over and over again. And I mean, if we purged everything and cleared everything, there would be nothing else to learn. So for this time period, we are just kind of approaching that downward slope of, we're just finally able to see over that crest. So it's probably really noisy. Okay, big deep breath. One of the big energies here with this Saturn, I'm just going to show you this. This is the Hierophant. So this is the spiritual energy. It's the higher vibrational aspect of all the fives. It is a number 5 of the major arcana. All the fives in the minor arcana they're all struggles. Fives in numerology are kind of conflicts, struggles, arguments. They're changes, glitches, hurdles, things like that. They're not huge. They're irritating and annoying and those kind of things. There's often something that's a little unrealistic about it. They're not always really reality based. We get into the 5 in the major arcana. This is like the higher aspects of everything, higher aspects of spirituality, education, relationships, thought processes, psychic abilities, intuition, whatever. I've probably said that twice now, and it's been slow moving. I'm just looking at the cards that fell out with that. This was the front facing card. Our slow moving energy of the Knight of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles. This month of June especially, there is a lot of earthy and fiery energy. Even though it's a Gemini energy, there's a lot of Taurus and a lot of Aries going on. Divine masculine energy is fire, okay? this feeling to impulsively run over that crest. And the message is not to do that, not to go with that impulse. Keep at the same pace. You will soon get over it. There's no reason to rush anything. Now, we have these two on either side of this impulse. These two are not going anywhere. This is earthy, grounded, stable, comfortable, financially well off, knowing their worth, knowing their value. It is a divine couple as well. Content, pleasant, happy, loyal, grounded, earthy, wise, all of that together. And they're actually facing each other the way this showed up. And this is like, I gotta. And they're like, no, no, you don't gotta. You're going at the right pace. Okay. And the last one is, there's that Aquarian energy. This is the star. Okay, so this leads us into that, what Saturn is doing. Actually, I'm going to switch decks because I don't think the Light Seers deck has quite the potency that I need for this. There is, you know, this is coming out with, so my ears are buzzing with, there's a if you are a person who is a truth seeker, you don't have to keep probing and digging and searching and yearning and all of that sort of thing. The truth is floating to the surface, or the truth is floating in your direction. It's magnetizing towards your vibration because of that steadiness. When you vibrate at the resonance of integrity and truth and ethics and all of those things, and love, because love is a high vibration, gratitude, all of those things, and you do it steadily, consistently, not because of a desired outcome, but because you want to practice those things in their purest state, because they are a reflection of who you are or who you want to be. If you do that in that sense, for that purpose, the truth is magnetized towards you. You are magnetizing it. You don't have to seek it out. Just like that Queen of Discs that got put back in there, the way she's sitting, everything's coming to her. And the King of Discs, he's just sitting there with his loyal dog in this room full of books and knowledge and wisdom, and he's sitting comfortably with his legs crossed and he's got a smile on his face. That's how the stuff is coming to you. So if truth and sincerity and reality and all of those things are something that you crave, you just have to vibrate at the resonance of truth and they come to you. Now, the thing with Saturn is Saturn retrograde. The truth is coming straight at you, whether you like it or not. Now, the people who don't want to see the truth might get shocked. You know, so there is a difference between the truth seekers and the people who are not prepared for a little bit of a reality check. Okay. Okay. So this card always bothers me a little bit. I mean, strength in general means that you need strength for something. You don't need strength to take a nap or, do something easy. You need strength when there's a challenge, when there's difficulty, when there's risk involved, when there's opposition facing you. And this lion, he looks kind of like he's in agony a little bit. And her hairstyle, there's something a little bit, I don't know. It's almost, you know? Okay. She's comforting this lion. She's like taming this beast. And it's kind of like what you need to do with this Saturn energy, taming that beast. It's, when you show fear of anything, actually, if you, how to phrase this? I feel like I'm bumbling around this. Something is exposed and it turns your world upside down. You can either go, oh my God, that's crazy, that's frightening, that's I can't deal with that. That shakes the foundation of everything I know, or everything I've relied on, or whatever. And then you need that strength. You need to tame that feeling somehow. The other side of that is, if you yourself are strong and formidable, and think of yourself like empowered, where you just are, and you're coming from that space of like attracts like, equal vibrations are drawn to each other, and the truth is coming at you, it actually strengthens you. It's not that you need to be strong in order to face that new reality. It's that that comes to you and it makes you stronger, firmer. And it's actually 10:10 right now in the evening. The other card connected with this subject is the Seven of Cups. And in this deck, this is the Tarot of Mystical Moments. This is the seven sisters up there, Pleiades. And I find that a little, it's not a coincidence. It's fascinating that in this deck, it's not cups, that they're stars in this case. And there is more transmission going on. There are more downloads happening. There is stuff waking up, and I can attest to that already firsthand with very weird phenomenon. And I'll just say that the veil between the worlds is a little thin and somewhat wobbly at this point in time. Dipping back and forth between the worlds is not at all uncommon. So this always shows up when you have options or you're daydreaming or things like that. But in this case, and what we're asking about, this is really that influence of that other space, the truth, getting your shit together, standing firm if you are operating on that vibration. If you are not, then get ready for a bit of an awakening. So we're talking, so June, July, August, September, October. It's almost 5 full months actually, because it starts at the beginning of June and goes almost to the end of October. And then we have this juvenile discovery, looking at things with a fresh viewpoint. So, like, what if the truth shows up and it's not at all what you thought it was going to be? Can you look at it from this perspective of throwing everything that you formerly knew, just throw it out the window and start fresh, clean slate, look at everything as inspiration instead of holding so tightly to what used to be? And so that can be, gosh, it could be anything. That you could really apply that to any aspect of your life. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the sun. And I find this peculiar as well because the sun is not the moon. Okay. I mean, that's obvious. But the reason I say that is because the moon, there's always something somewhat hidden. There's always that little aspect of something not fully visible. No matter how much light the moon can shine, it can never shine as much as the sun. And yet here she's peeking through. And that could be because the sun is so bright, you can only look at it with one eye. But that also means that something is slightly hidden. There are people who do gazing and they stare at the sun and they continue to increase the time that they do that, incrementally. And we have the King of Pentacles again. Okay. And the Nine of Wands, your boundaries, information. It's the end of a cycle. Whew. There's heavy energy with this Saturn. There's also a feeling of, I want to say collaboration, but that's not really the right word. It's less voluntary. Collaboration feels like you have to be in a group and you have an idea and somebody else has an idea and they have a part that maybe you're missing and you bounce ideas off each other and you work to a common goal. What I'm seeing with this is it's less voluntary, meaning simply being in close proximity to a variety of people without knowing it, your combined energies are working together for that desired outcome, which you may not have ever discussed between you. It's really on an energetic level. When I get into these readings, I never know what's going to happen. So I don't plan it. I don't know what I'm going to say. There's just a compulsion to get that reading out. And I said I was going to get this reading out today. Absolutely. And this keeps coming out, so I'm going to pull it out. So the Seven of Swords in this deck is a very devilish energy. There's something extremely suspicious, sneaky underlying in that. When people are afraid, they stop using their prefrontal cortex. They go into the lizard brain. They react differently. They're not capable of rational thought. And that is the perfect time for the little snaky tendencies to show up. I'm not fond of snakes anyway. And that burden, the burden that you're carrying, you may actually need to carry it and not allow somebody or something else to unburden you from it until you've actually processed it, because that also might be part of the issue. And I know that sounds very cryptic, but on a practical level, when people are afraid in society, that is the perfect time to implement all kinds of, let's say, legislation or rules or things, because people want a solution or they want somebody else to handle things on their behalf. And quite often they'll say yes to things that they normally wouldn't if they were able to access their prefrontal cortex. In this deck, so this King of Pentacles keeps showing up in every form. So in this particular deck, the artist did all of the characters as female, and then so including the Emperor and all the kings. Later on, she went in and added a masculine figure for each of those. I keep both of them in, and so in this very short period of time, we've had both King of Pentacles, the male character, and the female character. And in the other deck, we had the King and Queen of Pentacles. And I haven't pulled out that many cards. Okay, and the Queen of Wands here. The Queen of Wands energy, again, in connection with the Ten of Wands and the Seven of Swords, is a bit sneaky energy. So at this point in time, keep your wits about you, but seek the truth. That is like an underlying theme. This is particularly delightful for me because I am just surrounded by hummingbirds lately, and they're just fascinating little creatures. I was just saying not even an hour ago, they move they move like alien spacecraft. I had to fill up their feeder today, and from Friday until today, there was about this much empty space at the top of the feeder. They emptied it down to like only having this much nectar at the bottom. So I filled it up and I went back outside to hang it up, and two hummingbirds came and like just hovered there right in front of me, like, where did you take our thing? And I was like, I mean, I'm assuming that's what they said, because they were just hovering there looking at me carrying the thing in the middle of the deck. So I hung it back up, and vroom, you hear this sound. They sound like drones. And they chased each other because they're very territorial, so only one was allowed to drink from it at a time. And then when I turned, the other one shot up, so he's still in that same position, vertical, and just went straight up and then over into this giant cedar tree. So they move in this way that other birds don't move. They're just fascinating little creatures. And so this is actually victory. And there's, keeping that nectar just in front so that you can keep moving that goalpost, keep moving that reward just in advance, just a little bit ahead, so that you actually do keep progressing at this rate very subtly. And, like I said, the hummingbird can move in any direction. They're really different. And there's our six little bits of inspiration, I guess. there's petty, it gives me like a tightness in my chest, actually, like my solar plexus, like a closing of, you're going to not want to confront people or be confrontational with people. You might end up being passive aggressive, or people being passive aggressive with you because they're kind of avoiding confrontation. That does not bring resolution quicker or quickly. Okay, so calm, balanced confrontation where you can remove as much of the antagonizing energy as possible will actually bring you like amazing results during this Saturn retrograde period. When you can come at things from neutrality, pretend whatever the issue is doesn't actually involve you. How would you talk about it? You know, if somebody said, treat this subject that you're holding on to so intensely, treat it like a room in a warehouse that you don't own, and you and the other person have to decide on what color to paint it. You're not going to use it. It's not for you, but you have the decision of painting it a specific color. That much you can remove your energy from it. I know this is kind of all over the place, this reading, but we might revisit this Saturn retrograde in another month. We'll see what the other energies are as I move forward and what other readings I'm going to post. There's other aspects to this. There is the need to be solitary a little bit. Now, in terms of like romantic relationships specifically, let's look at that. Hold on. There's still things hidden. They're not going to come out right away. Ultimately, okay, big picture, bird's eye view, there is a balanced energy. There is a coming together of everything. There is a stabilizing energy that lasts way past Saturn retrograde. We're moving into this really nice, balanced energy. In that process, okay, so that is the central force. Like, if you are in a romantic relationship, if you are trying to be in a romantic relationship, whatever, soulmate thing, twin flame journey, whatever, okay, that is the underlying energy of trying to come back into balance, whether it's with the person that you're with or somebody else, but ultimately it is this very balanced, meaningful, long-term kind of energy. On either side of that, like I have goosebumps, on either side of that, there is like heavy duty boundaries, and a lot of introspection. And that doesn't mean that you have to remove yourself physically from a situation, but those boundaries are there for two reasons. One, so that you can actually remove yourself from a situation and feel okay. The isolation is just to go within. It's not to isolate you from socializing, because it's, I think, really important at this time to socialize. But that boundary, or the boundaries and the introspection, gives us two things. And if you're foggy on those two things, try and focus on those two things. One of them is to find that childlike curiosity. If you are not a curious child, that's really too bad, because that's kind of where it starts. See if you can rekindle that, or imagine what that would be like to look at everything for the first time with a beginner's mind, with a beginner's eye. Different perspective from your adult, cynical, whatever. The other side of that coin is intellectually try to gain clarity. Just seek clarity. Don't seek a desired outcome. Look at something in order to find the truth and clarity. Focus, laser focus. The high priestess is still there. You know, this is being able to peek behind the veil. This is intuition. So as you try and get mental clarity, you might be getting, you know, lots of third eye activation. You might be getting things that feel like sinus pressure. That might be in your sinuses. You might also feel it in your ears. Downloads, information that you don't know where it's coming from. Just keep asking for clarity and truth. Okay? And so your intuition, it comes in two different ways. So you have gut instincts and you have intuition that comes from here. So the gut feelings of knowing yes, no, true, false, right or wrong, all those kind of things, they're in your solar plexus. When you have an open feeling, it's a yes. When you have a closed, tight feeling, it's a no. So you can focus on that. When that feels good, you can begin to focus on your third eye. You might even feel it like way out here as well. It might be irritating if somebody does that, but you can begin to feel that, you know, 10, 15, 20 centimeters out from your head. That awareness, that floating in and out of worlds, behind the veil, in front of the veil, that's going to increase a lot for people. So yeah, just be careful with that. That's all I can say. It in my case, it shows up kind of unexpectedly. I can't even speak. Unexpectedly. Goodness. I'm going to do this one more time, and then I'm going to get the other deck. So you might find yourself wafting between, you know, contrasting between these moments of like phenomenal clarity. There's also extreme boredom and self-doubt. Like, what is it all for? All those existential questions, and revisiting things from your past over and over again, which may feel, you know, it might get to the point of completely desensitizing you. I'm just going to see how best to deal with that. Well, the best way to deal with that is actually delayed gratification. simply put. And focus on practical matters. Focus on being grounded, literally, feet on the ground, sitting in nature, simple tasks, your day-to-day activities. Take pleasure in doing routine things. Okay, 1 second. I have to lean way over here. That's those. One more. There we go. I should have brought them closer before. Okay, I'm going to pull some runes here for this. Yeah, I have a feeling we will be looking at Saturn retrograde a few more times, possibly even once a month. Wow, this is good actually. It's kind of funny if I, okay. Let's look at this. Can you see that? I don't know if you can, there we go. Okay. This is Wunjo. So there's a similar rune that actually the vertical line extends past, which is Thor's hammer. Thor says, this is Wunjo. This is joy. Okay, so this is pertaining to this. When you're actually open to receiving the truth, you should be able to find joy in that. Because then you actually know what you're dealing with. The illusion is gone. There's no falsehood. Okay? When you know exactly what you're dealing with, whatever disruption or seemingly negative aspects of it aren't actually that bad because you actually can see what there is. And then we also have Isa. So there's this period of ice. This is something frozen and there's no reverse to this. It can be a delay, it can be things on hold, it can be holding something in place as well for a time period until it's thawed. And then we have, I don't know if you can see that properly, Soulmates, which is the sun. It's very similar to the sun in the tarot. It's warm, it shines its light on everything. So it's kind of like twice that we have that. I need to pull one more. Yeah, reaping what you sow, karma. It will be a difficult time if you don't want to see the truth, if you're not ready to face your crap, if you are a fixed sign, it might be a little more strenuous, arduous, challenging. For anyone else, you're really interested in truth, you rather know the truth than a lie or an illusion, you're open to changing your mind, it's not going to be so bad. It's actually going to be really beneficial. It's going to be exactly what you've been looking for. And I think it'll blow your mind. Kind of literally. I think it'll blow your consciousness right out of the park. Okay. Well, this one came out. Soulmate. Okay. So it says love, partnership, magnetic attraction between two people, union. You discover a deeper sense of self through a relationship with another. That's kind of what I was talking about in the middle part of that reading. Okay. What else? There's a lot of tension though in the body, like as if the collective is just bracing themselves for this, because it feels like there's more people who are not interested in honestly looking at their crap or having the truth revealed. Okay, so we have new direction. Life may seem like a whirlwind at the moment, yet there's a divine order to the present circumstance. What may appear as chaos is often the angelic forces of the universe at work. It's going to be disruptive, this. After the storm clears, you will be steered in a new direction, a time of renewed health, joy, and abundance. And then this one came up. Good news. And it's an angelic figure here. So it says, good news is coming your way. Something beautiful is about to manifest. Feelings of elation, like you're on a cloud. It's time to celebrate all the wonder and beauty in your life. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. Okay. Got all the heavy stuff out of the way. No, there's one more. Healing. There's the sun again. With all these little hearts. So it says, healing. Positive transformation is occurring on a soul level. The answer to your question is yes. There it is. You can hear the rain. It is raining again. Surprise, surprise. It's been nothing but rain. It's been raining every single day at one time or another. I'm going to pull. Yeah. A couple of cards from this one. Now that we got the heavy stuff out of the way. I'm taking the jumping cards here. Ooh. There we go. Wow. I'll show you the middle card first. Feeling like that? Yeah. That little crow is yelling in his ear. This is the way it is. He doesn't want to listen because that doesn't seem to jive with what he thought. And over here, this liberation over here, freedom, liberation, the truth, the light, all of that stuff. Clarity, freedom. I said that already, but it's worth repeating. Okay, that's in the middle. Now, on either side of that, we have the Lovers, which is a 6. Yesterday was the 6th. It's also the card of Gemini. And then the 10 of Cups. This is, it's a bit illusionary. It's not delusional, but there's a bit of that, like Disney happily ever after kind of vibe. So it's all about the emotions, but it's really positive. This is a little spicier and lustier and stuff like that, but it's balanced. It's partnership. It's coming back into balance. It's divine masculine and feminine, whatever, however that presents itself in your life. The energies, partnerships, decisions, choices, you know, the back and forth, how to come back into balance all the time. Balanced energy is not about everything just being even all the time. That would be horrible. It's how to come back into balance all the time. One more. We need one more something here. jumping. Need a jumper. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, the Five of Wands and the Knight of Swords. That is ourself. This is the same person going through all of these petty things. And wands are fire element here. You're going to feel like this. I think even when you are seeking truth and clarity, there's going to be a little bit of disruption. I don't think it's going to be smooth for anyone, but it might be easier for people. This is very minor. As I said at the beginning, the fives they're minor. And then the Knight of Swords again. That urge, that feeling to urgently rush forward. I need one last card here. There she is. Okay, we're back where we started. So, yeah, still feels like something. Hold on. One last. I need these little guys. They're cute and playful. Let's just see. One final thing. What is the best advice, at least for the month of June, with Saturn retrograde for everyone? Ooh, that was a big jump. Honestly, the King of Pentacles. Okay, we keep getting the Queen and King of Pentacles. Grounded energy. That's it. I got nothing else to say for now. All right. Please like, share, subscribe. All the info's down in the description box. I do private sessions, private readings. Also follow Millie and I on the Astro Tarot forecast once a month. We've got all the dates lined up for the entire month, every month. All right. I hope this was helpful.